Okay, honorable members, I think what I'll do is put the question again, because it means that members didn't understand. Okay, honorable members, I now put the question that the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2024 be now considered. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it.
Order number 10, motion. Alteration of the calendar and resolution to sit on a specific Friday.
You can move motion number 10.
Honorable members, I beg to move that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order number 28.4, the calendar of the House number and 33C, and that is the House of Meeting, that this House resolves to commence the short recess on Tuesday, 22nd October, and hold sittings on Friday, 18th October 2024, commencing 9:30 a.m. And that is for a morning sitting, and later in the afternoon, Honorable Speaker, we'll be having a 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sitting.
Just read, just read the motion as is in the order paper. Don't add your own words.
For purposes of considering priority business, including mediated bills. Honorable Speaker, the rationale for seeking a resolution for of the House to alter its calendar, it is that it's so that we are able to sit on Friday, 18th October 2024, arises from the fact that we need to recover time lost by the House on Mazingira Day, which was actually a public holiday last week, and the suspension of a sitting to allow public participation on the special motion. Remember when we had the public participation last week or the other week, I think it was last week, Honorable Speaker, for the proposed removal by impeachment of the Deputy President and the sitting used to consider the special motion. And also, Honorable Speaker, it is also due to the urgency to conclude certain priority business. Pending before the House, pending in the House before we go for recess. And this includes, Honorable Speaker, the sugar bill, which is very crucial, that we really need to dispense on, the water bill, and the division of revenue bill that we've that is also that of course is going to be referred for mediation as going by the voting this morning, Honorable Speaker, and any other mediated bills, Honorable Speaker, that are going to be received in the course of the week. Honorable Speaker, we'll also use the opportunity to list for second reading several individual private members' bills, and that is of course pursuant to Standing Order number 141. This bill currently, they total, they're actually 52 in number and are likely to lapse when the House proceeds for recess on 6th December, if not concluded for their second reading. And that is why it's very important, Honorable Speaker, for us to do that. And then there is also need to provide room for the House to consider any other urgent business, Honorable Speaker, that may arise requiring expedited considerations, Honorable Speaker. So I beg to move that, and I will ask the Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe to second.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion by the whip majority party that, Honorable Speaker, we alter the calendar as he has moved the motion. Honorable Speaker, just citing only one bill, which is in mediated version, which I'm the chairperson, the sugar bill, Honorable Speaker. I want to present the paper laid this afternoon. And Honorable Speaker, now that the majority whip has put it into consideration, my people will be waiting to see that this bill goes through. So my absence from the constituency because of moving this bill will be value for money, and I'm pretty sure my people will be happy and the Kenyans will be happy. I second the motion.
Now put the question, propose the question. I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 28.4, calendar of the House, and 33C, hours of meeting, this House resolves to commence the short recess on Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, and hold sittings on Friday, 18th October 2024, commencing at 9:30 a.m. for the morning sitting and 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sitting, for purposes of considering priority business, including mediated bills. Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 28.4, Calendar of the House, and 33C, hours of meeting, this House resolves to commence the short recess on Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, and hold sittings on Friday, 18th October 2024, commencing at 9:30 for the morning sitting and 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sitting, for the purposes of considering priority business, including mediated bills. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We can now go back to order number 7.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
We have a request for a statement by the Honorable Mohammed Bidu, member for Isiolo South. Is he here? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee.
Apologies, Honorable Bidu. I'm sorry. I realize that we actually have questions. So let's start with the questions and we'll come to statements. I've seen the order paper. We do have questions. So we'll start with the questions, then we'll go back to statements. So you may sit down. You'll have your turn in a minute. Okay, so there's an ordinary question by the Honorable Member for Nyandarua, Honorable Faith Gitau, to ask the National Police Service. You may proceed, Honorable Gitau.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to ask this question. When will Police Constable Nelson Wahome, PF number 36703, who was unfairly dismissed from the service in September 1990, be reinstated despite being acquitted by the Bugoma Court Vide case number 2076 of 1990? State the timelines within which Mr. Wahome will receive payment for outstanding salaries and benefits for the period he has been out of employment, as well as compensation for the unwarranted violation of his labor rights as guaranteed under Article 41 of the Constitution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
This question is to be replied by the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security. How much time do you require, Honorable Tongoyo?
Considering that the House will be going on recess, possibly 2 weeks when we resume.
Thank you. We now have a question from the Honorable Member from Mbeere North, Honorable Ruku. He's not here. So we'll skip the question. He loses the opportunity. And the next question is also by the same member from Mbeere North, Honorable Ruku. In the absence of the member, we shall skip those 2 questions. We shall now go back to statements. So, Honorable Bidu, you can now make your request for a statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the tenure and transfer of the Deputy County Commissioner for Garbatula in Isiolo South constituency. Honorable Speaker, the National Government Coordination Act 2024 provides for Deputy County Commissioner in respect of every sub-county, mandated with coordinating national government functions at the sub-county level. It is with great concern that I raise the issue of deteriorating security situation in Garbatula's Siolo South constituency and failure by the Deputy County Commissioner and his team of the area to adequately address the issue. Over the past 5 years, residents of Garbatula have faced rising cases of insecurity and have persistently appealed to the Deputy County Commissioner, Mr. Stephen Nyakundi, to address the issue to no avail. This issue has negatively impacted the social economic lives of the residents, including a 5-year closure of Bisanadi Primary School, Korbesa School as a result of unmitigated conflicts between feeding communities in the region. Just recently, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration announced transfer of Deputy County Commissioners, including that of Mr. Nyakundi. However, in a quick turn of events, his transfer was reversed, which makes this the 4th time this has happened in the last 7 years. Consequently, this has sparked public outcry as the residents believe that the Deputy Commissioner has failed to fulfill his mandated duties, particularly in maintaining peace and fostering cohesion within the sub-county level. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Reasons for the repeated reversal of the transfer of the Deputy County Commissioner for Garbatula, despite demonstrable failure by the DCC to end the persistent insecurity in the region. Number 2, measures being taken to effect the transfer of the DCC of Garbatula in Isiolo South constituency and postal replacement. And number 3, strategies put in place to enhance the transparency and efficiency of the transfer process of national government administrative officers to ensure that they are in a position to serve their assigned regions effectively. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Thanks.
Okay, the question shall be responded to by the Departmental Committee for Administration and Internal Security. Honorable Tongoyo. How much time?
Okay, of course, Honorable Speaker, when we come from recess, but with actually a lot of respect to the rule of the House and the Honorable Member, listening to what he was saying, this is purely a human resource issue that I think will not have really warranted to be put as a statement, because the Ngawa office, or the officers who are responsible with the issue of placement and transfers of our officers, their offices are actually open. And they do this based on merit on individual cases. So I would rather challenge or ask them, Honorable Member, if we found it fit, just get to the office of the Administrative Secretary Administration and discuss even the issue. It's more better even if approached in that manner.
Okay, I think he's not at that point, but nevertheless, because the member has sought a statement to this, just put in the request.
Well guided.
Yes, he's going to either have the committee will make sure they get the report, the response for you. So 2 weeks, Honorable Tongoyo? Okay, thank you. I know you don't have to wait after recess. You can actually send out, because the government is not on recess. So if you send out the letter today, then by the time we come back from recess, the response will be there. So you can't put the country in recess also. Thank you. The next question is by the Honorable Member, nominated Member Abubakar Talib. Honorable Bidu?
Yeah.
Yes?
I have tried to go to that office severally. 4 times the transfer has taken place.
Out of order, allow him to proceed.
Where do I go? Can I be given assurance, Madam Speaker?
Honorable Member, I've already ruled that the chairperson will send out the letter today or tomorrow, and then by the time we come back from recess, there should be a response. So it's sorted out. Thank you. What's your point of order, Honorable Russo?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, but as the Honorable Chair has already affirmed, this is a human resource issue. And what the Honorable colleague is saying is this particular DCC has overstayed in that area. And as a result, the citizenry are up in arms, complaining. And that is why some things are administrative. They don't have to come to the floor of the House. But I believe as a committee, we will also pursue so that it doesn't really waste the time of the House when it can be done by the ministry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Honorable Member, that's a point noted, but let's allow the relevant State Department to do that response to the member, not yourselves. Now you're acting like the State Department. I think if the member wants the response from them, I think that's a good point, especially if it's been pending. So let's move to the next request for statement by the Honorable nominated member Abubakar Talib.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding the abrupt termination of operation by Direct Line Assurance Company Limited. Honorable Speaker, on 10th September 2024, Direct Line Assurance Company Limited announced the immediate cessation of its insurance business operation. In the announcement, the company stipulated that any further transaction must be conducted through its original shareholders. This development has raised significant concerns about the stability of the insurance sector and the welfare of policyholders across the country. Furthermore, it has created widespread confusion and uncertainty in the market, potentially affecting thousands of policyholders and the broader public. Honorable Speaker, it's against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the following. Provide a comprehensive report on the current status of Direct Line Assurance Limited, including detailed information on its ownership, shareholding, and number of policyholders. Clarification on legal status and validity of insurance policies issued by Direct Line Company Limited, particularly on the coverage and protection to vehicles and passengers in the event of an accident. Plans put in place to ensure that claims made by motor vehicle owners insured by Direct Line Company Limited are processed. Measures being taken to ensure that all vehicles with valid insurance covers from Direct Line Assurance Company can operate without hindrance for the duration of their policy validity, and plans put in place to prevent future cases where the financial instability or closure of an insurance company could adversely affect the operability of insured vehicles and the safety of passengers. Thank you, Mr.
Chairperson for the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And from the onset, I would like to thank the Honorable colleague for bringing this matter to the attention of this Honorable House and to the attention of our committee. I know this is a matter of public concerns where several people are taking insurance coverage, but when it comes to the time to be compensated, then that challenge exists. And Honorable Speaker, without preempting maybe what the committee will do, the situation that's happening with Direct Line Insurance is very unfortunate and should not happen in the first place. Because in any case, there exists a policy compensation fund where in the event something happens to an insurance company, whether insolvency or whatever challenge that come, then the person to the insurance policy holders should not be the one to suffer any loss. And therefore, maybe given the short time of recess, in another 3 weeks, we should be able to come back with a response to this Honourable House, hopefully to the satisfaction of the Honourable Member. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. And now we go to the request for statement by Honourable Joyce Kamene, member for Machakos County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A request for a statement regarding the delay of disbursement for the National Government Affirmative Action Fund for Machakos County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Social Protection regarding the delays in disbursement of the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, GAF, for Machakos County. Honorable Speaker, GAF is a cornerstone for our government's commitment to inclusive development by providing access to financial resources for socio-economic empowerment for the women, youth, people living with disability, needy children, and the elderly. Through the fund, many of our young men and women have found reliable avenue for promoting their enterprises and value additional initiatives, making it instrumental in transforming lives. Owing to the crucial contribution of affirmative action initiative in our societies, it is important to ensure timely disbursement of such funds and proper structure for its efficient administration. Sadly, Honorable Speaker, Machakos County continues to face inexplicably delay in disbursement, leading to accumulation of unspent balances for the financial year 2022-2023 and 2023-2024. GAF has been deploying Madam Betty Kanyiri Njoni of personal number 2009-1421-27, Principal Gender Officer, as the county coordinator on extremely short acting contracts. These inexplicably intermittent deployments, separated by incoordinate delays spanning as long as 2 months for GAF to renew the contract, continues to cause serious administrative gaps that significantly disrupts effective administration of the fund. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee of Social Protection on the following. A report on the status of disbursement of the GAF balances for the financial period of 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 to the Machakos County, and the measures put in place to ensure timely disbursement to enable the continuation of projects approved for funding, and action being taken by GAF to immediately post Ms. Betty Kanyiri of personal number 2009-1421-27 as the GAF County Coordinator for Machakos County for an interrupted contract for at least 1 year in order to ensure effective and seamless administration of the fund, including the timeline of the posting. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Signed, Honorable Joyce Kamene Kasimbi. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kamene. This question is referred to Committee on Social Protection. Is the chair in the House? In the absence of the chair, the vice chair? In the absence of the vice chair, then I would like to pass this to the leadership. When can the Honorable Kamene get a response? Honorable Osoro. In the absence of the chair and the vice chair, Social Protection Committee, to which this question by the Honorable Joyce Kamene is referred, I would like you to tell us when she can get a response.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I commit to whip the chair of the relevant committee, and I promise that with my push, we'll be able to get the answer once we resume back from recess. That should be about 2 weeks from now.
Honorable Kamene, is that acceptable to you, the first week when we come back from the recess?
Chair, Madam Speaker, I wish we'd have gotten an answer in the next 24 hours because we'll be going for recess, and these are balances that are within the headquarters of GAF, and I'll be at the ground, nothing doing, without even a coordinator, and you can easily remember that we had gone for another recess. I had nothing to do in the ground because we do not have these funds, and funds are available and they're at the GAF headquarters. Can I please get a better answer? Thank you.
Well, Honorable Kamene. Yes, do you want to respond to the Honorable Kamene?
Yeah. Honorable Speaker, I am just holding brief for the chair. I really do not want to make a commitment, Honorable Kamene, that I won't deliver. Please indulge me and allow me to push the Honorable Member to be able to do the response in just 2 weeks. It is not very long, Honorable Kamene. Immediately after actually we go for recess, you'll find a lot of other engagements with the great people of Machakos, and I'm sure you'll be so much committed, and you'll utilize the funds in the long recess that will be going just after we resume back. You can now be doing the capacity building and all the other things. Thank you very much, Honorable Kamene. Thank you, Honorable
Well,
Speaker.
before I go to Honorable Kamene, what is out of order member for Tiati?
Madam Speaker, while I appreciate Honorable Soro giving responses here on behalf of the chair, I am finding it difficult to understand the role of Honorable Soro. Madam Speaker, Honorable Soro is a majority whip. And a few minutes ago, the majority leader was here. What role is Honorable Soro playing in this House?
So I want to ask you, Honorable Member for Tiati.
Can we be told
what is out of order, Honorable Kamket?
What role
is out of order?
Is Honorable Soro playing? The majority leader has been around, and it looks like the Honorable Soro is acting majority leader. I do not know what's happening. Can you explain to us what is happening in the leadership of the Assembly?
Well,
are there changes that we do not know about? Can we be informed of what is happening?
What is out of order then?
We want to know whether there are changes in the leadership, Madam Speaker, because the majority leader is here.
Well, there is nothing out of order, Honorable Kamket. For sure, there is nothing out of order. And I was able to watch the body language of the member for Machakos as she was being engaged by the Honorable Soro. And I would like to request for your patience that you get the answer in 2 weeks, so that you don't get commitments that are not possible, especially when we are on recess. Thank you, Honorable Member for Machakos. Next. The Honorable Abdul Haro. Please proceed with your question.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on the Tourism and Wildlife regarding the increase in wildlife attacks in Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, over the past 5 years, Mandera County has witnessed an increase in human-wildlife conflicts. Many residents and their livestock have fallen victim to attacks by crocodiles, hyenas, and snakes, which has in turn caused physical, emotional, and financial devastation to the affected families. One such case is that of Mr. Ibrahim Abdullahi Ali of ID number 6411601, who was attacked by a hyena in a Babosone location on 27th June 2023, resulting in the loss of his right arm. His family, burdened with significant medical expenses, has been forced to seek specialized treatment in Awasa Hospital in Ethiopia. Similarly, Ms. Fatuma Nur Ali, a young woman from Abeyumur village in El Ram location, lost her life to a snake bite on 24th May 2016. Her case was duly recorded through the Kenya Wildlife Compensation Claim Form, serial number 694/MDR/2016, and submitted to the KWS Mandera County for processing. Unfortunately, 8 years later, her family is yet to be compensated. These incidents underscore a need to address and safeguard the well-being of residents of Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife on the following. 1. A comprehensive report on the support being provided to Kenya Wildlife Service to ensure prompt responses to distress calls in Mandera County. 2. A report on the immediate and long-term measures that the government has put in place to mitigate the recurring human-wildlife conflict in Mandera. 3. An update on the compensation status for the families of Mr. Ibrahim Abdullahi Ali and Ms. Fatuma Nur Ali, including specific timelines for the settlement of their claims. And 4, measures put in place to streamline and expedite the compensation process to ensure timely and fair compensation for all victims of wildlife attacks. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Mandera South. This question is referred to the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife. Is the chairman in the House? In the absence of the chair, the vice chair? I see a hand from the Honorable Kilel. I would like to pass it to the House leadership. Let me pass this to the Honorable Soro. It is tourism and wildlife. Question asked by the Honorable Abdul Haro, member for Mandera South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also wish, just like the other one, in the absence of the chair and any member of the committee, I want to make an undertaking that the member will get a response once we resume back from recess, Honorable Speaker. Yeah.
Honorable Haro.
Honorable Speaker, I stand guided.
Thank you. Next order. So now, honorable members will go to the Honorable William Kamket, member for Tiati. It's a response to a question.
Honorable Chair, I think it's the chairman to respond to the statement. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. As I did promise yesterday to respond to the very statement being sought by the Honorable Member for Tiati, here I want to issue the statement. Honorable Speaker, the member for Tiati constituency, Honorable and the only one, William Kamket, had requested a statement regarding the review of scheme of service for the appointment of chiefs and assistant chiefs in marginalized areas. And the honorable member particularly sought to be informed, one, whether the Ministry of Interior and National Administration could consider a review of the academic qualification for appointments of chief and assistant chiefs in marginalized areas. Two, whether the ministry could consider experienced individuals from the respective location and sublocation in the recruitment of chiefs and assistant chiefs on the basis of affirmative action. And I respond as follows, Honorable Speaker. The appointment of chiefs and assistant chiefs is guided by the reviewed scheme of service for the National Government Administrative Officers 2015 that explicitly set the minimum qualification for appointment as follows. Assistant chief, for appointment to this entry grade, a candidate must have the following qualification. Have a Kenya certificate, secondary education, KCSE, mean grade of C-, or its equivalent from a recognized examining body. Be not less than 30 years of age. Be a resident of the particular sublocation. Police should have produced a police clearance certificate, have a good communication skills, and have a certificate in computer application skills from a recognized institution. Honorable Speaker, for the position of the chiefs, to be appointed to this entry grade, a candidate must have the following. Have a Kenya certificate of secondary education, KCSE, mini grade of a C, or its equivalent from a recognized examining body. A diploma in any of the following disciplines: public administration, management, social work, community development, education, governance, conflict management, or its equivalent from a recognized institution, and be not less than 5 years of age, and be a resident of the particular location, with, of course, also the issue of the police clearance certificate of good conduct, have good communication skills, and have a certificate in computer application skill courses for the recognized institution. However, and I repeat, Honorable Speaker, however, in specific circumstances where the advertised position do not attract qualified candidates, the ministry on need basis request academic waivers from the public service to facilitate the filling of these vacancies. The Public Service Commission always grants such academic waivers on request. The other thing that the member wanted to know is whether the ministry could consider experienced individuals for the said position. Honorable Speaker, whereas possession of experience in social, political, economic, and cultural aspects of communities is important in public administration at the grassroots, all cadres or positions in public service are subject to particular minimum academic requirement during recruitment and selection process. As already indicated, the use of academic waivers in special circumstances is in itself an affirmative. And I underline that. This affirmative action ensures that citizens in the marginalized areas are not discriminated, but have an equal access to the chiefs and assistant chiefs position. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I submit.
The Honorable Kamket, is the response satisfactory?
The Honorable Speaker, while I appreciate the response from the chairperson, this policy, Honorable Speaker, as he has stated, began in 2015. And from then, Honorable Speaker, the position of the chief and assistant chief, which is a very important position in government, has been completely watered down. And in places where some of us come from, Madam Speaker, very many young people have been disenfranchised. And this policy, Honorable Speaker, the policy that the Public Service Commission came up with, is a very punitive policy. It is anti-people, it is anti-hustlers, and it's a policy that never underwent any public participation. And in my request, Honorable Speaker, I specifically asked the ministry whether they could consider a review. But what they have said is that they have special circumstances where they ask for academic waivers. What if, Honorable Speaker, those people are not available? We have in this republic, the Republic of Kenya is not equal. We have places where you cannot get somebody who has finished Form 4, let alone somebody who has a C- or a C star. I have asked for a policy review because this one never underwent public participation. Madam Speaker, I am asking and I'm demanding that this policy be reviewed. Otherwise, we are going to challenge it in court. Honorable Speaker.
You want to ride on that before I give the chair? So then I start with the Honorable Dr. Pukose.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on this issue that has been raised by the member for Tiati, I wanted to ask the chair whether these academic waivers only apply to marginalized areas or to all other areas where people with minimum qualifications as stipulated for assistant chief or chiefs are not acquired. Then the second one is recently we had cassettement of divisions, locations, and sub-locations, and those have not been operationalized. When are they going to be operationalized? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Well, then on the same, I would like to give a chance to two more people, then we end it at that. The Honorable David Bowen, Marakwet East, followed by the Honorable Peter Lochakampong. Those two.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support the Honorable Kamket. And specifically to that policy that requires some specific academic qualification for chiefs or assistant chiefs. Madam Speaker, many parts of this country, in the northern Kenya, in the northern frontier, all the way to Turkana, I want to tell you, Madam Speaker, it is true that you can go to a sub-location and you may not find someone who has finished their Form 4. And that place requires an administrator. And you know, Madam Speaker, the reason why some of us from the pastoral community, there are so many insecurity and this banditry, because there are no administrators. The government is far away from the people. So if we want to bring services closer to the people, the services are for a chief or an assistant chief. Madam Speaker, I think that policy needs to be reviewed so that we can see if there is no one in that location or sub-location who has not finished Form 4, Madam Speaker, we can consider even someone who finished Class 8 and is able to do the job. So I want to ask my colleague, the Honorable Chair, that he can still go back to the ministry and give us a very concrete answer. Thank you, Madam Speaker. At the same time also, with what the Honorable Bukosa said, Madam Speaker, there are so many administrative units which were cascaded, locations, sub-locations, and divisions. Like recently in my place, the Honorable Speaker, the Kerio Valley sub-county, they operationalized the sub-county and posted a deputy county commissioner, and they have not operationalized the divisions, the locations. So you have a deputy county commissioner who is without the assistant county commissioners, who is without chiefs. How is he going to operate?
Well, thank you. You made your point. Members, I had agreed to give to the Honorable Lochakapong. One minute. Yeah, 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to commend Honorable Kamket for bringing up this matter. And this is something that is affecting many parts of this country, especially the pastoralists. Where I come from, this is a big problem. To get somebody who has C- to be an assistant chief. And while still, Honorable Speaker, you have even, the chair has even communicated that for a chief, it's a seaplane. And in the spirit of promoting an assistant chief, probably who was recruited with a C-, on the exit of a chief, it becomes very difficult. And Honorable Speaker, even where he is saying that academic waivers are issued in some special circumstances, sometimes it is not forthcoming. So we have had challenges, Honorable Speaker, and I want to say this, that that policy needs to be reviewed. If, Honorable Speaker, for somebody to contest to be even a member of this House, there is no academic qualification required.
The Honorable Nicholas Ngikolong, Turkana East, and the last one.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance to support the statement by Honorable Kamket. Madam Speaker, this issue of chiefs and the assistant chiefs in those marginalized areas, it is really something which is supposed to be looked at by the Ministry of Interior. Madam Speaker, I am a son of a chief. And I am in this house because of the reward the people of Turkana East gave me because of my dad. The job he did in that place, and that's why I'm here, the member of parliament. Madam Speaker, my dad, he was just a mayor pastoralist. And he was given that position. And he did a good job. And that's why the people of Turkana East reward me because of the good job my dad did. Where is this issue of the C- or the seaplane coming from when we want to recruit a chief? Madam Speaker, this policy is supposed to be reviewed so that everybody can be given a chance. When we talk of those places, we don't have even schools in some areas. How can we get a C- in those areas when we don't have a school in those areas? And there is also in the same policy,
It's okay. You made your point, Mheshimiwa. So, Beatrice, I would like very kindly, let's go back to the chair so that we can close this. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I've really had the members who had actually raised their concern. And Honorable Speaker, I know the subject matter is a very, of course, it's a lot of interest across across the House and even in the nation. But Honorable Speaker, I want to state that that is how it is at the moment. And I think we had actually laid it very clear that the issue of waiver is applying. If probably there could be delay, it could be attributed to individual officers who are responsible by doing the so. Let me make my point, Honorable Kamket.
Order, Honorable Kamket.
Because even I know quite a number.
Please be orderly so that, no, I would like him to first of all respond to you.
Honorable Speaker,
No,
just protect me from...
If you are not satisfied, you can also say that you are not satisfied, but let's give him time to finish.
So what I'm saying, actually, Honorable Speaker, I'm in total agreement with the concern of members. That is true in majority of these hard pastoralist communities or some areas in this country. To get even a C- is a problem. And even the people who probably has these grades are the people who actually probably are in Nairobi, are in towns, and the role of the chiefs needs somebody who knows the issues, the local issues in the community. But having said this, Honorable Speaker, I want to say nothing is cast on stone. That is how the scheme is at the moment. This House has the powers also to review if need be. But at the moment, this is how it is. Maybe the honorable members can as well look into the means that the scheme and such kind of policies and regulations can be reviewed. I'm actually also in support that maybe we need to reconsider this.
Well, before the Honorable Kamket speaks, Honorable members, let us bear with the chairs of committees because the chair is reading a response from the ministry. And I believe that the chairs agreed with the members that there is need for change of policy. So with that, one more minute, Chair.
Yeah, had me 1 minute. So I think to be on record, I really understand. And I personally come from a pastoralist community. And I know how important this thing is. That majority of the most competent and more efficient officers could be actually the people who could have been staying in that area for too long, understand the local issues, policies, and even local issues. Lastly, on the issue of administrative unit, Honorable Speaker, this is an issue that I think the honorable member is supposed to have written a statement. Nevertheless, we all know that this thing boils back to the issue of finances and availability of resources. The issue of Kerio Valley, as being said by Honorable Bowen, we know this is something that was, of course, already done because of the insecurity in the region. And it has really helped a great deal. The issue of the small unit, it is just a factor of resources and money. We all know that the vacation of finance bill did a big deal to the operationalization of this unit. So moving forward, I know good days are ahead. When we move into the supplementary budget probably coming up too, we'll consider to allocate resources to operationalize on need basis, Honorable Speaker.
I would like you to be on record. I would like Chair to be on record on the matter of need-to-need basis. Is it operationalization of existing which have been gazetted? Or
Yes, Honorable Speaker. The gazette, there are quite a number. The backdating actually 2017. Because of the constraint of resources, quite a number has not been operationalized. So we are going to do it gradually, depending on availability of resources. Yeah.
Has already agreed with you. There is no need to pull this further because it's not a debate, but because the question belongs to you, I'll give you 1 minute. Please pass the mic. Please pass the mic to the Honorable Kamket. Other members, please bear with us because we have to move to the next order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have an interesting situation here. The chair himself does not believe in the answer, in the reply he has brought to the House. The chair agrees with me and agrees with the rest of the members that this policy needs to be reviewed. So now, why does he bring a statement to the House that he does not even believe in it? So, Madam Speaker, may I request, Madam Speaker, if this was a regulation, we would have looked for ways of repealing it. But this is a policy that is done by the ministry. Would I be in order, Madam Speaker, that you order this chair to call for a meeting where the Cabinet Secretary, the Public Service Commission appears before the committee, and then we come and address this matter holistically. Because as it is now, even the chair does not believe in the statement he has brought. He agrees with me.
Chair.
For Honorable Kamke to say that I don't believe in what I'm reading. That is, of course, very wrong. What I've said actually the concern of the members from the pastoralist community, where I personally also come from. I really totally in agreement with the concern they are raising. What I had also said to be on record, that nothing is cast on stone. Police can be reviewed depending on merit and when on need base. So that is exactly just what I've said. And the honored member is a senior, you are a ranking member in this house. And you know the procedures. You know if there are need to review the regulation and policies and the scheme of service. So you have made your point as guided by the speaker. We are going to, of course, able to scale it up and see, because it has to be between the ministry and the public service, which actually is the custodian of the schemes.
Thank you, Chair. I would like you to take a seat. I would like Honorable Kamket to take your seat. So then, Honorable members, I order that this matter be discussed further by the Committee on Administration and Internal Security In this committee, the cabinet secretary or the PS, if the cabinet secretary decides that the PS be there, but also Public Service Commission to be there, and let this matter be discussed by the committee. So thank you. Honorable Kamket, you please take your seat. Kamket, oh, you are being disorderly, Honorable Kamket. Honorable Kamket, you are being disorderly, and you know this is your third term in this house. Is it your third or your fourth? Second. I thought that you are third term. So, Honorable Kamket, if after this matter is discussed by the committee, the chairperson will bring a report in this house. And I hope that this will not be for pastoral communities only, because this matter affects many other areas of this country. Thank you. Chair Education. Next will be Chair Education, responding to the Honorable Doris Donya, member for Kisii County. And she has been patiently waiting. I do not see the Chair Education in the House.
Honorable Speaker, with your permission, I will read the response.
You have the response, please proceed.
From the chair of on behalf of the Chair of the Education Committee. The question was the strategies that Ministry of Education has put in place to ensure that schools adhere to set regulations, including prohibiting tuition during weekends. Honorable Chair, the Ministry of Education in Kenya has implemented various strategies to ensure that schools adhere to regulations prohibiting tuition during weekends and school holidays. Some of the key measures include: 1, circulars and guidelines. The ministry regularly issues circulars reminding schools and stakeholders of the ban on extra tuition, which we first imposed in 2012. The circulars outline the guidelines prohibiting any form of tuition during weekends, public holidays, and school vacations. 2, through the Directorate Quality Assurance and Standards Directorate, the ministry conducts routine inspections of schools to ensure compliance. Officers from this department visit schools, particularly during weekends and holidays, to check if extra tuition is taking place. 3, reporting mechanisms. The ministry has established reporting mechanisms where parents, students, and the public can report cases of schools that violate the ban on tuition to the sub-county field offices. 4, public awareness campaigns. The ministry has rolled out public awareness campaigns to educate parents and students about the importance of rest for learners and the regulations on tuition. These campaigns aim to discourage parents from asking for extra tuition. 5, engagement with stakeholders. The ministry regularly engages with key stakeholders to ensure collective responsibility in enforcing the ban. These dialogues help ensure that both educators and parents are aligned with the government's policy on the matter. These efforts are part of the ministry's broader agenda to promote a balanced learning environment and prevent the overburdening of students. On question 2, the question 2 was on the plans the Ministry of Education has put in place to ensure that public and private schools that pick and drop students have sufficient vehicles to avoid long travel time to and from school-going children. And the response is as follows. Honorable Chair, education in Kenya has taken several steps to address the issue of school transportation, especially concerning the adequacy of school buses for both public and private schools. These strategies aim to ensure that students are safely picked up and dropped off without facing long distances or delays. 1, transport guidelines / circulars for schools. The Ministry of Education has developed guidelines for school transport to streamline the management of school buses. These guidelines / circulars encourage schools to ensure that they have sufficient buses that comply with safety standards and adequately serve their student population. Schools are required to ensure that buses are properly maintained and the journeys are properly planned. 2, encouraging schools to purchase buses. Public schools have been encouraged to prioritize the purchase of school buses through government funding, the Constituency Development Fund, and contribution from parents and alumni. Schools that already own buses are urged to increase their fleet to serve the growing student population. The ministry emphasizes this as part of the infrastructure development necessary for competency-based curriculum CBC rollout. 3, monitoring and auditing school transport systems. The ministry's Directorate of Quality Assurance and Standards is tasked with the safety of learners and transport system of learners and transport systems in schools to ensure they meet the required standards. Schools are checked for sufficient transportation resources, and long pickup or drop-off distances are discouraged. 4, engagement with parents and school boards. The Ministry of Education worked closely with parents and school boards to address transportation challenges. Parents are encouraged to participate in discussions with school administrations regarding the transportation needs of students. This includes raising funds for additional buses in cases where schools face logistical issues related to the insufficient transportation. 5, partnership with the National Transportation and Safety Authority, NTSA. The ministry collaborates with the NTSA in ensuring that school buses adhere to the required safety standards, including the appropriate routes and operational hours. This partnership helps enforce the use of buses that are safe, properly licensed, and capable of serving the school's catchment area effectively. 6, government-funded school buses. The ministry has worked through government programs, including the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, and county government funding to assist public schools in purchasing school buses. This initiative focuses on equipping public schools with the necessary resources for transportation, particularly in rural and marginalized areas where transport infrastructure may be underdeveloped. NGCDF has been instrumental in funding the acquisition of school buses in numerous constituencies, with members of parliament actively supporting these initiatives. These buses are meant to serve students in areas where public transportation is limited, reducing the burden of long walking distances or the need for students to use unsafe or expensive alternative means of transport. 7, transportation safety and capacity regulations. The ministry, in collaboration with NTSA, has implemented stringent rules regarding the capacity and operation of buses. These regulations mandate the school buses must not exceed their passenger capacity, should adhere to specific operational hours, no night travel for school buses, must have proper safety equipment such as seat belts for each seat. School found violating these regulations, such as overcrowding buses or allowing unsafe travel conditions, are subject to penalties, including fines or revocation of their bus permits. This ensures that the available buses are used to efficiently and safely reducing transport risks. Number 8, capacity building and training for school bus drivers. The Ministry of Education, in partnership with NTSA, conducts capacity building programs for school bus drivers and transport managers. These training sessions focus on enhancing road safety awareness, improving route planning to minimize long travel times, encouraging adherence to transport regulations specific to school vehicles,